What's up, guys, and welcome to this segment of Pinckney's Prospects. I'm Billy Pinckney, and today we're joined by Chicago Cubs prospect Kohl Franklin. Kohl, thank you for coming on.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Now, you were drafted out of high school by the Cubs in the sixth round in 2018. How exciting was that moment for you, and was it tough? Was it a tough decision to go directly into pro ball and not play in college?
Uh, it's honestly I can't explain it besides like a dream come true, and it was a really tough decision just because of the fact that I really liked where I was at OU, and I knew the coaches well enough. I knew I would get to play a little bit, and I just felt like I was mature enough to kind of go start my career, and I always looked at it as like the 3 years I'd be in college to get drafted. There would be 3 years, like getting introduced to like a minor league program, kind of building my way up. And so that was pretty much the toughest decision for me.
Now, so far, you spent a couple seasons in pro ball. What were some lessons or adjustments that you had to make in order to be successful at the professional level?
Definitely starting to pitch behind a lot more than I used to and would have to in high school, because in high school, pretty much if you throw in the 90s, it's pretty hard. So definitely learning how to like pitch behind hitters and start with off speed and stuff like that.
Right. Now, in the past few years, it looks like your velo jumped a ton from around 86 to 89 in 2017 to 91 to 97 in 2019. What would you say led to the increase in velocity, and was it different mechanical adjustments or your training program?
I would say a little bit of training program, but I would say kind of just getting more in tune with my delivery and kind of figuring out how my body works and trying to put myself in the best spot to where I go feel the best every single day.
Right. Now, I also want to bring up the pitches that you throw: a fastball, changeup, and then a knuckle curve that you used in 2019 that helped you out quite a bit. Will you be able to show us those grips?
Yeah, so four seam is pretty much just kind of tuck my thumb a little bit. On my changeup, I actually throw a two seam changeup, and so I kind of have it like it's kind of hard to explain, but like I have it
Off the seams a bit.
Almost off the seam a little bit, but kind of like middle finger like touching the right side of my middle finger is touching the seam, and then usually like depending on like the situation, I could pronate a little more and kind of get more action, or if I want I'm just throwing like a ground ball, or if I want to throw as a strikeout pitch, I'll just pronate more. Right. And my knuckle curve, I have it I hold it on the horseshoe, so it's like this, and I really try to just focus on pushing my thumb up to where it's kind of just like more of like a smoother motion for me.
Right.
And really getting just on top of it. So it's just that straight 12-6 and not much of like a slurvy action.
Right. Now, has that been your go-to pitch?
Not really. I would say my changeup has been my go-to pitch for sure. Because I never started throwing a curveball until my senior year of high school.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah. So and then I was throwing the traditional, this curveball, and then Sags, Brendan Segara, who was our pitching coordinator in 8 and 19, switched me to the knuckle curve like mid-season in Eugene, and it was just like it was a lot more sharp. It was sharper, and it was just like I could throw it harder, and it was easier for me to command.
Right. Now, this past season was canceled, but lots of guys have been able to find ways to continue their development. What were some facets of your game that you were able to work on during this long off season?
I would definitely say strength, like building strength and just gaining muscle, and just like getting my lower half a little bigger and kind of just feeling like more strong and just like more more stable on the mound for sure.
Right. Now, you're currently on the Cubs top 30 prospect list at number 7, the third pitcher on that list. As a player on that list, do you pay attention to it much, or do you mainly focus on letting your performance on the field take care of itself?
Yeah, I just let my performance take care of itself. The prospect lists aren't going to make you to the big league, so yeah, you have to go out and perform.
Now, being a member of the Cubs organization, well-known organization, been around for a while, what have you noticed in how they handle their players and kind of the environment in professional level?
It's an unbelievable environment. I would say it's definitely top in baseball, just because of the fact that how everything is just like fit to you. Like everything is different to each player. It's not just like one-way street. Like if I don't like doing like drive line, then we'll figure something out to where I still get the same effects as that, but everything's tailored to the player. That's like my number one thing that I like about it.
Now, throughout your baseball journey, who have been some figures who have influenced your game along the way?
So I would say Nolan Ryan's probably one, just how he pitched, his demeanor. Ian Kinsler was my favorite player growing up, just because of the fact that he's kind of the closest one to me, and like I knew him personally because my dad's an agent and he represented Ian.
Oh wow!
And so I get to like go in the locker room, hang out with like Ian, Adrian Beltre, like Elvis Andrews, Michael Young, and all of them.
Wow.
Then I would say Chris Paddock more now, just kind of how he's just like fearless on the mound, and I respect that a lot, and that's kind of how I try to, incorporate in my game.
Right.
And I love watching Garrett Cole and Walker Buehler pitch, not just because I try to resume my game after. I just love watching them pitch.
Right. That's awesome. Now, in a few sentences, how would you describe your game and yourself as a player?
I would say I'm a relentless. I'm a different person on the mound. I'm not gonna let anybody take something from me on the mound. I go out there with a chip on my shoulder. That's kind of just how I like playing the game.
Awesome. The last question I want to ask you today is, what advice would you give to a younger prospect, whether in high school or college, who might be going through that process of getting drafted or recruitment?
Never stop working. There's always someone that's going to try to work harder than you, and you have to be the top dog. So never stop working, for sure.
Awesome stuff, Cole. I appreciate you coming on.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
All right, to all you guys watching, thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time here on Pinckney's Prospects.